What to do during a WoW hiatus.
The 0.1 patch always rubs your face in the fact that WoW has become a hamster wheel. Can you think of a more wrong-headed developer choice than to incentivize not playing the game?
Hail and well met, fellow Amnestre. Northurion here. Welcome to Amnestre Media 16. If you've heard me talk about WoW for any length of time, you probably know I have a love-hate relationship with the game. At the time of recording, we are officially in a so-called content drought between Dragonflight and The War Within. Patch 10.2.7 with Pandaria Remix is in full swing. But I have been unsubscribed from WoW for several months, and I plan to do so until The War Within pre-patch. I've been thinking a lot about the hate part of my love-hate relationship with WoW, and so much of it has to do with what I call the hamster wheel of pursuing gear. Or if hamsters aren't your thing, maybe we could call it the Marmot Wheel. Thinking back over my experience in the past couple expansions, I have really enjoyed one specific period in the WoW expansion cycle, and that is the period between the expansion pre-patch and the 0.1 patch. The pre-patch usually introduces some aspect of gameplay that innovates or upends things. The Shadowlands pre-patch introduced the level squish, but also that Death Rising event in Icecrown that featured a major catch-up gear grab. The Dragonflight pre-patch came with a new talent system and a whole new UI, not to mention opening up a whole new race class combo, the Drakthir, with all the associated quests and flight mechanics. Discovering and exploring all these new game systems is what makes the pre-patch period so fun. And then when the new expansion itself drops, exploring and questing through the new zones and dungeons is what becomes fun for many, many weeks. And for me at least, when I hit max level, chasing gear through crafting and dungeons is what maintains my interest, again, for many weeks and months. I know for many, endgame raiding is what maintains their interest, but I think there are a lot of us for whom we're at a point in life where we just don't want to put up with the stress and irritation that creates. And I speak as someone who has raided on and off from vanilla through Warlords of Draenor, or simply, we don't play as many hours as we used to. I can only imagine that there's a large percentage of the player base for whom questing and crafting and world quests and maybe pet battles and small-scale group dungeons and singular large-scale groupings for, say, world boss dragons are the mainstay of their WoW experience. If you're in that category, I'm pretty sure that if you're like me, the 0.1 patch is where you have started to lose interest in recent expansions. For me, it was the 9.1 Shadowlands patch, Korthia, where I let my subscription lapse. In Dragonflight, it was the 10.1 patch, Zaralek Caverns, where I started to lose interest and let my subscription lapse. Why is that? It's largely because the 0.1 patch always rubs your face in the fact that WoW has become a hamster wheel, or if you prefer, a Marmot Wheel, where the new content renders all the gear you have worked so hard to obtain obsolete in one swift stroke, requiring you to step on the wheel again and chase the new gear for a few weeks. The new zones and their associated quests and collectibles may maintain your interest for a while, but you quickly realize that it's just a consolation prize for stepping back onto the wheel. Rinse and repeat. So usually that's when I let my subscription lapse. I may pop in for a month now and again, but it's mainly just an exercise of biding my time until the next pre-patch. Mad Season Show has been putting out a lot of good content lately, and I've been thinking about his recent reaction video about the new player experience. Link in the description. Mad Season has always been a voice of reason about the wrong-headedness of various developer choices, like the WoW token in WoW Classic.
And I told you so.
But also the wrong-headedness of character level boosts. He rightly points out that level boosts basically monetize players' desire to not play the game. I mean, can you think of a more wrong-headed, maybe even cowardly developer choice than to incentivize not playing the game? I think that encapsulates why I usually drop out at the 0.1 patch mark. The devs seem more interested in creating new things to chase for a few weeks rather than inherently fun, evergreen gameplay. The fun proffered by the devs is the hamster wheel of chasing new content, ever-increasing item levels of gear through mechanisms that will be obsolete as soon as the target gear is obsolete. Has planned obsolescence ever been a recipe for fun? I mean, who is still killing rares in the Forbidden Reach? Or, to underscore the absurdity, why would I need to set foot in Korthia again? And by the way, why does no one ever talk about how ludicrous the gear item level inflation is in this game? I have heard Holly Longdale repeatedly tout the rapid rollout of new content, a release every 8 weeks, as a major win for players, but is that a win? To my mind, the gear-chasing paradigm just creates the conditions under which players rapidly become bored. New content is no replacement for compelling gameplay. Now ask me what makes gameplay compelling, and I'm not sure I could tell you. I'm not a game dev. All I can do as a player is say what is and what is not fun for me. And the 0.1 patch is where I usually find myself jumping off the train. As I think back over my experience with vanilla WoW, I confess the rollout of new content was not a priority. I'm not talking about WoW Classic, I'm talking about vanilla WoW. You can't step into the same river twice. Sure, admittedly, chasing max level was a thing, as evidenced by the leveling spreadsheet I so carefully prepared in the spring of 2005. But the journey to 60 itself was fun, and emergent gameplay was its own reward. At max level in vanilla, we kept running Ubers and chipping away at Molten Core when we had the chance. Again, not denying that chasing gear was a thing, but again, those instances were fun in themselves. Plus, if I ever got bored with that, there was the daunting but exhilarating prospect of raising alts, which could occupy me for months. I don't ever remember getting bored or feeling frustrated with the gameplay, or even desiring new content. I mean, it was exciting when Burning Crusade was announced, but I never felt like I needed it, or that I should just sit out until it dropped, as I do now when a so-called content drought comes. Vanilla gameplay was just inherently rewarding. I don't know what to say. So to get another point of view from someone who hasn't played all the expansions and therefore has more of a new player experience, I asked Agtal, aka North Jr., his thoughts on all this. We weren't able to arrange a recording session, so I'll just read his take. These are Agtal's words. Quote, "The game doesn't accommodate people who are trying to get intrinsic enjoyment out of the game by making previous content obsolete. As a result, it's a natural progression that someone would want to pay money to get to that Marmot Wheel. I think burnout happens so quickly in WoW because Blizzard has adopted a model where they make the game very fun to play, but they push that fun part further and further away. They have an addictive product that requires you to put in more and more hours to get that dopamine hit. As a new player, when you get behind everyone in chasing that dopamine hit, it's so hard to get there, you are either more and more inclined to pay money to get it, or you get burnt out. I think this is why it's so hard to get new players into WoW. The game pays so much attention to this kind of content, by which Agtal means the endgame gear chasing, that it almost requires you to be addicted to that dopamine hit in order to enjoy the game. But the thing is that there is so much content, so many cool stories, and such a vast world, that Blizzard does not need their Marmot Wheel in order to keep players enjoying the game. It's just that the Marmot Wheel makes more money. Blizzard should start selling cigarettes via the WoW store. I think they'd make a killing." End quote. Lol, Agtal. Comparing Blizz to RJ Reynolds. I can't say you're wrong. Just one more thing, and this may be heading into tinfoil hat territory. It's something Northiriel observed in the aftermath of Plunderstorm and in the run-up to Pandaria Remix.
They seem to be making it a lot harder to casually acquire gold.
It's really a good observation. Both Plunderstorm and Pandaria Remix are alternate gameplay modes that occupy massive amounts of player time while shunting players into a space that is partitioned off from the regular world and its incentive structures. For one thing, this shows a lack of trust in all the legacy content that has accumulated over the years. but also it redirects players away from a mode of gameplay amenable to the accumulation of gold. Why is nobody talking about this? Our working theory is that these alternate gameplay modes are designed to drive people to buy gold, since they are making less gold during quote-unquote normal gameplay. Meaning that channeling players away from gold accumulation yields extra dollar accumulation for Blizzard. Grats, Microsoft, you just dinged. What do you think? Is this what's happening? Tell us what you think in the comments. So here I am, old man yelling at cloud. I'm probably going to sit here without a subscription until the War Within pre-patch. So back to the question I started this video with. What to do during a WoW hiatus? Well, the obvious thing to do is to play other games, so please check out the Stray Plays videos I have been making with Agtal, aka North Jr. So far we have played and commented on Mass Effect and A Plague Tale: Innocence. But other than that, I started asking myself, how can I rekindle the love aspect of my love-hate relationship with WoW? What can I do with a free account during a hiatus that would be fun? I've always been inspired by the legendary WoW player Doubleagent, the Pandaren shaman who leveled to max level by picking herbs. Never picked a faction, never left the Pandaren starting area. This has been widely described as a pacifist playthrough. Lord knows there's enough IRL Warcraft in the world today. I'm really inspired to try a pacifist playthrough. I guess it's a commentary on the state of WoW that I need to set self-imposed challenges in order to make the game fun, but here we are. So I think, I wonder if I could do what Doubleagent did. So I create a panda. I come up with the perfect character name. Let's see if it's available. Lartuin. Get it? Lartuin. It's available! Who'da thunk? Okay, let's try this. Gotta be careful. Pick only the quests that don't require any killing. I'm a pacifist, right? Okay, this looks safe. I just gotta punch a few target dummies. Which I did, but forgot to vidcap it. Let's check our stats. Hey, wait a minute! Punching those target dummies counted as a kill? I mean, they're dummies for crying out loud. Now what? I'm 5 minutes into this and I've already failed? Back to the drawing board. I wonder if pacifist really means 0 kills, or if, in Doubleagent's case, not picking a faction is just a proxy for pacifism. Okay, let's think about this. So if I want to do a 0-kill pacifist run, there are a few quests I can do, but not many. Deliveries, talk to so-and-so. I'll have to level by exploration and by picking herbs. But I can't pick herbs until I can pick up a profession at level 5. And there isn't enough territory in the Panda starting zone to be explored for XP. Screw this. Let's try a different approach. I can make a tree-hugging druid pacifist. But it would have to start on a major continent, so I would be able to rack up exploration points to get to level 5, at which point I could start leveling by picking herbs. Yeah, I'll make a pacifist cow druid. Say hello to Irene, the Bovine Pacifist. So I'm not going to get to level 5 by questing, so it has to be exploration. Southern Barrens, Stone Talon Mountains. Finally, level 5. That means I can train for herbing. I love pacifism. So I start following another cow, more cowbell, as they kill things in order to pick herbs. Now, of course I don't condone killing, but it's not unethical to benefit from someone else doing the killing, is it? Pacifism is a lonely life, always out of step with the world around you. And then on top of that, Northiriel says,
don't you have to kill plants in order to harvest them?
Damn it. So as my second profession, I choose mining, because rocks are inanimate objects that can't be killed, right?
But if Azeroth is a sentient being, doesn't chopping off a piece of her harm her?
Sigh. So then I picked up fishing.
I kind of feel that fishing is just another way to kill fish.
You know what? Shut up. I'll throw the fish back. I'll throw the fish back after catching them. Catch and release.
Just saying.
So because Dark Moon Fair was running, that got me all the way to level 9.
We shall meet.
Let's mix things up. Scrounge for some exploration XP while herbing and mining. Let's head to Tirisfall Glades. Do a few collecting quests. And a few more collecting quests. Pro tip, the low-level Eastern Kingdom's horde zones seem a lot more amenable to this style of play than the Kalimdor ones. And voila! Level 10. So, when do I get stealth? Damn it, not until level 13. But now, I can spec. How should I spec? Only one pacifist choice. Gotta go resto. But at least I get travel form. So thanks for joining me on this journey of discovering how self-imposed restrictions can enhance my enjoyment of World of Warcraft and rekindle the love part of my love-hate relationship with the game. Old man will keep yelling at Cloud, but now at least I can stop and smell the peace bloom. Join us next time as we level from 10 to 20. At which point I will cap out on my free account. But oh well. Peace bloom out.